As the topic is there stated, it's in front that reimagining cloud, AI, and data. And I very fondly call as the key trilogy, because each three of these emerging aspects are so closely interconnected to each other. And I would say it's been now a couple of years where every enterprise has started their digital transformation journey across the globe, including Sri Lanka. And somehow they got a literal push from the COVID-19, the pandemic which happened. Enterprises were moving at their own pace in this digital transformation journey, and suddenly this push came out of nowhere. This was something which was unpredictable, but it really helped enterprises to push their own limits, understanding what they can achieve, how fast they can achieve, and the kind of opportunity lay in front of everyone. Now, there were certain industries who were very fast in adopting it. If I call, say, the BFSI industry or the telecommunication industry are somehow the leaders when it comes to adoption of technology, and whereas other industries, they slowly follow up. There are certain aspects such as regulation, compliances, which gets the front seat when we talk about financial industries or say telecom, but it slowly increases. And that is where, when I was interacting with one of the panelists and speakers in the tea break, during the tea break, they mentioned that even Sri Lanka has their own Digital Bill Act there, which is valid for the enterprises to adopt and follow. So with that, I would start with Malik, you, considering you're from telecom industry. So how did the pandemic, COVID-19, altered your digital strategy, digital transformation strategy? What were the changes that were being brought up? And if I was to ask very specifically that what impact and implementation of cloud or emerging technology like AI, how did it evolve?
Yeah, so just to set some background, previously, so it about 2019, we adopted a strategy which we call the cloud first strategy, right?
Okay.
So when COVID came about, we had just, I would say, set our foot in cloud. We were learning what it's all about, how the whole migrations work. So we were getting a good understanding of how cloud works, right? And previous to that, we have digital platforms that we had out there. We had our payment gateways, all those available, but we had not got the adoption that we expected to have, right? But COVID came along, and then people had no option but to adapt to these technologies that was available. And I think very timely that we were adapting onto a cloud strategy, that when people started adapting onto our the digital platforms, payment gateways, we were able to expand as fast as we required to, which we would have not been able to do if we were not on cloud. So
Okay.
for us, being on the cloud strategy when COVID came along was absolutely critical, and actually we managed to serve our customers much better than we would have been able to otherwise. Then the next thing is, once we were probably in the midst of COVID, we had requirements where we wanted to expand our campaign management, our sales tracking platforms, all that we needed to expand. If we were on an on-prem strategy, we were not being able to get the hardware delivered. There was logistical issues. All those challenges we were not being able to overcome. With cloud, we managed to implement multiple modules of our campaign management, roll them out quite fast, and actually make use of the cloud to expand as we required. I think so many different examples of how we managed to enable ourselves to serve our customers better thanks to cloud, and how we managed to make use of the data that we had. So we've actually, in the middle of COVID, we managed to move into a completely digitized, dashboard-driven sales tracking system, where all our sales and retail staff managed to track their sales and come and all that relate back to the central office through platforms that we were running on cloud.
Okay. So you were almost moving towards and real-time dashboarding across the LOBs, starting from the sales team to marketing team to even the CXOs who were taking the decision based on the data that was coming in their hand.
Correct, yes, exactly.
Okay. And as Malik mentioned, so Chetna, I would like to ask you, in terms for your enterprise, LB Finance, how did it turn up? How was the evolution?
Yes, first of all, thank you very much. And I think like Malik said, we also started the digital adoption quite early, I think before COVID, 2018, if I recall, we drawn up our digital strategy. So where we were thinking of going to cloud, and all that strategy was, formally given with our, I mean, at that time, our former chairman's visionary leadership. So we driven that strategy. We were driving that to the years to come. Then 2020, of course, I think this COVID came as like for us, it's like a tsunami. Like I think the first time when the tsunami hit Sri Lanka, people didn't know what it is. It was like a sudden thing, people thought it's just a wave, just one wave, and then, everything is fine. But then people saw how the devastation. So I think it's the same story with the COVID. So initially people thought it's just another virus, can get, easily get away with it. But we realized the challenges that came with it. Like, so for example, we are in the finance industry. So finance industry is tightly coupled with people's livelihood. If their livelihoods are not functioning, we are not getting any business. I mean, we give the facilities for people to earn out of their livelihood and then pay our renters. So if that is not happening, then everything gets stuck at one place. So then we had to bring a lot of things to the market very fast. Like for example, digital payment apps, and then do transaction digitally. So then this lot of challenges came along with that, since we are a highly regulated industry. So there are a lot of regulatory aspects that we had to come across. But I think if I would say the digital transformation strategy got accelerated with the COVID pandemic.
Okay. Okay, thanks for that input. With that, I'll move to Priyankara towards you. So we have the point of views from telecom, from finance, industries which have always had a first step towards technology, I would say. But when it comes to tangible products like FMCG industry, how has been the journey for you? Or I would say, how have you utilized the cloud data analytics to play a really key role or a pivotal role in your enterprise?
Yeah, thanks, Pratik, for the opportunity. So I'll explain the context what we do at Dilma. So basically, we are predominantly into a B2B business. We have a 5 to 10% in FMCG, but the case is same for us as well. So in that case, what we do is, so we also believe in cloud first, mobile first agenda from day one to today. And now we have adopted AI first also into that. So the cloud first, mobile first, and AI first approach that we are driving. Wherever possible, we will bring technology to drive the growth and innovation in the business. That's the mindset we have.
Okay.
So, so in Dilma, what we did was initially we got the top level buying, the board of directors buying into the whole agenda. So without that, I think none of this is going to work. So then thereafter, we got the skill set and the people around it to drive this agenda. And third one, pretty much you need to pick the platform, right? So we are a cloud-first customer and the company, so nothing on-premise. So we pick the right platform to drive the innovation using data. So that's it. And so far, it's delivering what exactly we are looking at. And the other point is we basically enable our power users, business users to do their own analysis. We are basically enabler. IT is a technology enabler for them to do their own analysis using the environment that we created. So that's where we are driving. And at the same time, the number one thing is the culture. That's very important, data-driven decision-making culture is very important. It's paramount important for any company who wants to drive data journey. So I think if you get all these to a certain level, so then you will have a successful journey in your company. So we are marching forward with very strong presence of our leadership, and we are happy to say that the leadership is supporting from top to drive this whole journey forward. So that's where we are. So it's a cloud journey.
So if, Prankar, if I ask that, was there any, because as you mentioned that executive buy-in is definitely necessary for implementation, for execution, because that support needs to be there. So what was the business goal or business objective that they wanted to achieve when they thought cloud first, data first, AI first? And what I can think, correct me if I'm wrong, for an FMCG perspective of your organization, supply chain. Because we are seeing supply chain as one of the strongest and even the weakest point. Say when it comes to cybersecurity threats, supply chain gets disrupted.
Correct.
And it's even the strongest point for you because that's where everything is dependent on when I talk about tangible products. So what was in the mindset of the executives, the business goal that they wanted to achieve with technology first?
So, I mean, at the board, so the discussion was to drive growth. So, right, so we basically, we are exporting value-added tea across 110 countries in the world. So it's a big market for us. And so we have dominated markets and at the same time emerging markets for us as well. So we were thinking of how we can drive our growth in different markets with the different strategies. So in that case, they were thinking about how we can use technology to leverage that. So we bring different capabilities. We are right now rolling out best-in-class CRM platform to enable our frontline, right? So at the same time, so it's about answering to your question, so it's about your strategy. So you need to go and convince your strategy to the board of directors, align with the big goal that company is having. So you need to have a technology strategy aligned with the business strategy. So then if you really convince them, then you will get the funding from that end. And they will support your journey, but only thing is you need to communicate your strategy in very layman term to the senior leadership. That's the most important thing.
Definitely. Talking their language, the executive language, I think is the key when you want to get something approved that involves the budget also.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky because in some cases it's open budget.
Great. And with that thought, I'll move to Keshan, to you. We have discussed the supply chain or the business goals, but there's also a very critical aspect, customer engagement, because I think every industry has that kind of reach, hold, and engagement with customer that needs to stay because loyalty is something which is important. How are you utilizing these emerging technologies or for, say, cloud or AI? Because now there are a lot of virtual interactions which are happening with customers. And specifically post-COVID, or say that was the duration where that direct reach or direct impact of a physical marketing strategy was something which was not available. How did your organization or your point of view on having that reach, impact, and ensure the loyalty stays with your customers? How was your approach towards it?
Right. So let me just explain what we are doing now and then what could future hold for all of us.
Sure.
I think now when you talk about virtual interactions, earlier it was just we are interfacing with a screen and a keyboard and or with the touch screen. And then the chatbots came and then we were typing whatever we need and then it was all information driven. You had to pick and choose whatever the services that you need. And now with chatbot evaluation into AI genre, what we see is now we have the ability to describe what we actually want. I'm pretty much sure the ladies over here and the husbands over here, where their wives are always shopping. Earlier now, if they want to go onto a e-commerce platform, if they want to buy something, they just want to click on certain things. I want to, if they want to buy a black dress, you just have to click on black dresses. You will get a lot of collection, and then you have to go one by one and select the dress that you want. But now AI and chatbots have allowed you to describe the features that you need, and then it will just give you the right product with a very less interactions. Coming into with virtual interactions, you are not just looking at the screen now. You have your wearables, so your smartwatches, your phones, and there are gadgets like Oculus Rift or Apple glasses like that. Now it's coming to market, which will be like an oasis of data. So with, technologies like 5G, we can instantly send this data across to a cloud location. We can process it instantly. And then probably we can create like a virtual self of ourselves, like a digital twin of ourselves, and then we can adapt that. I think primary markets like fashion and beauty industries will benefit out of it. They can, with everything that you have. And probably marketing and how we market these things, how we engage with our customers is going to be changed as well. Now, if you watch a YouTube video, you will get a customized advertisement for yourself depending on the searches that you did. I believe in future, the algorithms will develop to consume all the data that you have. Let's assume like your health data is your watch and everything will be there. Based on your YouTube watches, if it can detect your favorite actress. Yep. For example, let's say Deepika Padukone, if you watch her songs each and every day, the algorithm might be able to detect that. And then it can use that data to create like a targeted advertisement for you using generative AI, where that actress that you like, presenting the product that we own, and then it will show the benefits. Okay, you are trying to lose weight, so why don't you use this product? So market will, in future, I'm pretty much sure it will be more into generative AI, and target marketing will be happen on the commercial space.
Okay, definitely that's very interesting food for thought. And I think the way AI has, I would call today's world as, an AI world, an AI era, where everything around is now getting infused with AI, be it from normal interaction or say customer interaction, the way we are shopping. And I'll share some of the stats that at a global level, AI revenue is expected to be at $550 billion by 2024. And if I say the GDP of Sri Lanka, it is expected to be 73 billion USD by the same year. So imagine even having a 2% market share from the global AI revenue will really push the overall revenue for Sri Lanka by another 8%. So the kind of growth it will get to the economy, that would be amazing to see. And it would be thanks to all the technology leaders sitting over here, how you are utilizing, and how in turn it's going to reach the customers at the end. That would be a fantabulous journey to have. So, but along with it comes certain, as it's a double-edged sword, I would say, there are certain challenges also comes because the kind of data that has been involved, data you are collecting at your end, that privacy is something which is on the verge. So with that thought, I would say, Chetna, if I may ask you, how do you address these challenges of data privacy? Because so much of data is collecting at your organization also for the customers. Yes. How do you address this at your end?
Yes, I think, I think previous panel also, there was a question similar to that, where the privacy laws in India. So like in Sri Lanka, now similar in Sri Lanka also, the Data Protection Act is now enacted. There's a regulatory body already formed. So we, as a regulated finance organization, we also had to follow that. So it's a huge, I would say huge area, not only involve IT, it's involved legal, legislative frameworks, and how we collect the data, where we store, how we store, and how we transmit data. So it's a huge area that we have to rethink the way we have used. Like I said, in 2019, 2018, that era we started developing certain AI models to evaluate the customer behaviors. But now that we are now revisiting those AI models to see whether any data previously has been breached. So it has now become a bit of a challenge also. So because the regulator point of view, now the regulators come and question what are the models that you have used, what are the attributes that you have taken into this particular model, and how you keep that data in your data centers. So they have come to that level now. So I think now they are talking about the predictive AI. Like say for example, if I give a facility based on my AI model, so now today at my organization we use our AI to give grant facilities. Like for example, gold loan, same gold asset. If I come, I can give say 1,000 rupees. If Keshan comes, Keshan can get maybe 1,500 because he has more data with us with his payment patterns. So, but now there can be a question. I can go to the regulators and ask why LB Finance has not given me the amount that Keshan got. So then I have to I can't just say it's an AI model and it just predicted. Then that's how it works.
The machine says.
Exactly. Yeah. So now we have to be give all the basis how it achieved. And so it's basically like profiling. So we are now in the process of doing this profiling of customers, and then we can then define why we came to this kind of conclusion.
Okay. And with that, I would like to quote one of the examples. So this example is from India, where one of the NBFCs that we have, it was established in 2015, they have a completely AI ML driven operations. So starting when, say suppose you apply for a loan, it's all automated. It's machine driven. They will analyze your application, whether it's complete, incomplete, get in touch with you again. So you may think that a person is writing a mail, but it's actually the machine who has highlighted a red flag, and another aspect is getting in touch with you with an email. To assessing the credit worthiness, whether kind of information that you have provided with certain more APIs across different finance, it collects all this data, and finally the decision-making thing is also based on that AI model only. So they have done that intensive research with the profiling aspect, with the KPI aspect, that the entire decision-making process where it ends is also being driven by a machine, an AI machine. Now, definitely there would be certain bad decisions also, but I think they are living with it because they say, maybe I may lose on 2 good prospects, but I'm assuring that those 8 prospects are the valid prospects. I will definitely not lose on that. So it ensures at least the negative credit worthiness are being excluded. So that is the kind of involvement AI ML is being utilized by the finance. And with that thought, I'll move to you also, Malik. With the kind of regulations, compliances which are in place, how is your organization coping with these challenges of data privacy?
Yes, so at Dialog, we treat our customer data as, it's like gold, right? So we really want to protect the customer's data. So one of the things is very recently we've also just got ourselves certified in 27701 for data security and privacy, right? But even going back, when we decided that we wanted to migrate our entire analytics infrastructure onto cloud, we want to democratize the whole analytics infrastructure. So one of the first challenges that we wanted to address is how do we manage that PII data of our customers. So at that point, even in selecting some of the tools we selected, one of the criteria was how do we anonymize the data on those tools. So, and then that actually played a critical part of our entire analysis. And at Dialog now, for analytics, the customer PII data that's available is anonymized. So for us, managing and protecting that data and ensuring that we have visibility of where that data is and who is using it and how it's being used is absolutely essential. So we've used even a concept called safe harbor in analytics, where we have like a protective bubble where people are able to go and do the analysis there, but the data cannot be taken out, or data can't be taken into that zone. So that kind of controls we have adapted to ensure the protection of our customer data.
Okay, that's amazing. Because I think it's more about how people are extracting the data and playing around with it. If that gets restricted, then obviously that's a key to it. So while all these things are happening, so how do you, Kishan, would think on how this emerging technologies, this trilogy of cloud, data, and AI is helping you gain a competitive advantage within your market, or even if you are planning for a global aspect, so on that global stage, how does it add on to the competitive advantage?
Right. So to gain the competitive advantage, first thing I think what gives us the competitive advantage is how well we understand our customers. So I mean through our sales patterns. So at CBL, we do products from biscuits to chocolates to everything. So we do analyze our consumer behavior through our sales and all. So if you take like post-COVID, the behavior throughout the years, it's uniform, and you see the same pattern repeating each and every year. And throughout the COVID period, it actually got very disrupted. And then we see after COVID, there's another new pattern is emerging. Even though we are hitting the right volumes, we see that there's a slight difference in how the products are performing. And actually, we believe that maybe through COVID, the first thing is what will happen to you is that you lose your sense of smell and your taste. So probably it might have an effect on that. So likewise, we try to understand all these things and then try to use to understand the customer well, and then we start developing new and new products to our market, and then we produce that to the market as well. Okay. And then probably now, if we are trying to build a model where we can actually predict and self-develop, self-understand the recipes and self-develop the products by itself, so that we could cater different customer segments as well.
Okay, great. And Prankara, if I may ask you to add on the aspects.
Yeah, we are also trying multiple things now to detect certain anomalies in sales, inventory, supply chain. We use algorithm to detect certain anomalies, because all these things are correlated each other very well. So then it's very hard to detect from human point of view. So then, in that case, we use technology on the cloud to get that insight out of our data. So that's how we do. And beauty is, the cloud has driven us to this point because of the power that it has. And today, cloud has even more evolved the power because of the AI, right? So what my idea is basically to why we are not using that, capitalize that opportunity to drive growth in our environment. So that's, you can do wonders with the features that are available, because every day you are using the latest version of the same version, same thing, right? Okay. So you can do wonders with the services available on the cloud today. So I think first thing we need to do, if you're really believing innovation, move to the cloud. So then that's where you need to, do innovation and do whatever you want with the data.
Okay. So as time's up, I would just put an open question and any one of you can answer. How do you envision in next 5 years, what big thing can be achieved with the kind of technology adoption and the transformation your industry is witnessing, or you expect to witness in the coming 5 years?
Let me start.
Please do.
Yeah, of course. So we are seeing some big things nowadays, because that OpenAI disrupted searching, that how we search last probably 10, 15 years, right? So it's significantly disrupted the way we do search, right? So you see Google market share, so they had 93% of searching market share has dropped to 90 last year. So this is even more, because it's a keyword-based searching into your almost conversational level of discussion you are having with the bot. So, I mean, in that case, AI is going to definitely evolve. There's no doubt about it. Because of the power of that, the services on the cloud and other things will even more, to come to a level where you can get the maximum out of those services. I think next 2 years going to be even more prominence in terms of the services that we think about. Uh, so best thing about is use the services as much as possible. Look at the business case, write the right tool or the technology piece, and do the innovation in that. So keep open your eyes. I know that there are challenges and the risk, privacy aspects. And when you're doing certain things on the cloud using AI, just evaluate the vendors carefully and understand who is doing that part better. So then you can engage with that and move on. So definitely this is going to be more in next couple of years down the line. So because it's so much happening, OpenAI is disrupted and there's another rivalry coming. So Bard also, Google introduced Bard. Anthropic is another open, so smaller company which pops up, which is Google and Amazon going to invest on that. So there will be a significant rivalry happens in this particular space. Because of that, we have an opportunity to get the maximum out of these services. Just go there and use the services and get your business into that level. So I think you can leverage that services and get the business output.
Okay, Malik.
Yeah, I think like what Keshan alluded to before, I think the key game changer I feel will be in the customer interaction point. So AI will be absolutely key in driving that change. But one thing I would like to highlight is AI is a good word, a lot of capability, but it also has a cost.
Yes.
So the challenge would be how do you define your outcome well enough to make sure that you spend the right amount to match that outcome?
Definitely. Chetna?
Yeah, I think in my view, next 5 years, again, I like this global forum, so-called agile. I think it will become more agile than what we are in now, because I think now next few years, next few months is very crucial if you look at the global political, geopolitical situation. So this will enable a lot of new areas as well. So for example, now I would think, now in our case it's regulated market, so the regulators are very traditional. So I think in time to come, that also has to become agile. Like say for example, legal system. So we are using our legal system is still like we are using post I think 18th century or even beyond that legal system. So and now we are talking about ChatGPT. So if I can get a solution on ChatGPT, whether how legal that will become a question in the future.
The speed of updating those aspects is something which is still lagging.
Exactly.
And I think everything is lagging. The way technology is advancing, it's accelerating, and we are still.
So I think for next 5 years or next 3 years, these are the things that will, like the legal system and then the regulators. So those are like the governments. Now the people are going away with the governments, how the governments function, and to move into the smart cities. So I think that will become the next 3-4 years future.
Okay. Kishan, if you want to add.
Yeah, so I think, everyone all agree that AI is going to be the key for next 5 years. But beyond that, we might not be able to imagine what the next technology is going to be. So, 2 years ago, we have never thought about we would be able to have like a very humanized conversation with a PC. Now, there's quantum computing is coming, so the ability to process data will be much higher. So probably within 5 years, there will be much more computing power we will have. So there will be a lot of things coming in. So only thing that we need to be prepared. So if you take your organization, if you take my organization, we try to digitize all our information and categorize it and keep it ready. Because we don't know what the next evolution is going to be, but we have to be ready to cater to that particular technology and get the gain in the market or gain for the organization as much as fast as we can. So what we do is we are making sure we are ready for that. So on that source, I think we will be always keep on evolving, and we will keep on planning our data set to accommodate to what next to come.
Definitely. The future is definitely volatile, complex, uncertain, and the only thing for us enterprises or technology leaders is just to be as agile as possible. I would say that then. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.